Carolyn, we're very excited to have you on the cover of our magazine this quarter. We've seen your work in town for a while, and we're thrilled that we have the opportunity to come and sit down with you today and talk to you a little bit about your passion and your business, and really get to know you a little bit better today. And we're looking really forward to taking a tour of your studio.
I know, right? When I first saw your surfboards, I was so drawn to it because it was so unique, so different. What do we do with surfboards, right? Yeah. And I saw the end result. I just couldn't help it. I was so excited. I had to contact you. Well, so how did you start this whole thing?
You know, these surfboards are not just surfboards. Mm-hmm. You are saving a life here, landfill life. So all of these are destined for landfill. They may not look like it now, but they had dings, and they had, I mean, pretty bad dings, most of them. So, you know, finding these boards is a real challenge. So if you have any at home, make sure you give me some. Don't really hold out on me, okay? So I find them. I was just at a flea market the other day, right. Found one surfboard, you know, and it needed help. It wasn't gonna go on the water again. So what these are is they've had a life on the water, they've had a history. I wish I could have that speak to us, right. But all I could do is take the boards, clean them up, and say, okay, now you're reassembled as a life on a wall in somebody's house, making a beautiful coastal home, allowing them to wake up in the morning and see the beautiful blues or teals or silvers or golds or whatever I've incorporated into them. And the funnest thing about this is that they're all an experiment. They never turn out the same. Ever. Even if I want them to.
Interesting.
Put them side by side, I do exactly the same thing, and the circles pop out differently, the colors pop out, because it's fairly fluid and I'm doing a lot of hand painting, it'll roll off, and you know, I'll say stop and it doesn't listen to me. So on and on. So let me know when you're ready to go look at some.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, what was your inspiration for surfboards?
Yes, that was the question. So I started being a professional artist in 2013, after being an artist my whole life, but doing nothing with it. I had been doing about 12 shows a year, and there's this one group called Art Reach down in San Diego. I love their purpose because it is about putting art back in after-school activities for young kids. Now, when I was young, I was able to have that in school, and a lot of my, I mean, I just was constantly drawing, and kids would actually bring me their folders. Hey, could you draw a picture on this? We want our mom to think we did a really good job on our folder. Okay, so anyway, so this Art Reach, every year we would donate, all artists, and there's about 150 in each of their 4 shows that they do. And so they said, this year, instead of you donating a piece of art, we're going to have you do something special. We're going to have you paint on surfboards. Oh, and I'm like, goodness. Paint on a surfboard? How am I going to do that? So I'm thinking, okay, they're going to give me this pretty ready-to-go prime surfboard, right? I show up, and it is the most gnarly surfboard I've ever seen. It has fins on the back. I had to chop off the fins. I mean, on and on. I'm like, kind of my mouth dropped. Matter of fact, I was so afraid I was going to mess it up that I said, can I buy another one? Because they gave you one, and so I bought another one, thinking,
just in case.
Yes, just in case. And I do have a picture of my very first surfboard in my brochure, which I could show you. Yeah, so that's how it started out. And this cause for Art Reach, so the funds from the auctions go to the after-school activities. So that's how I got started. And then the next month, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I might. It took me a while to figure out my own techniques. But the next month I picked up 10, then 3 months later I picked up 20.
Oh my
then
goodness.
A few months later I picked up another 20, and I have almost done 300 surfboards.
Wow. Wow.
Since 2018.
That's incredible. That is incredible. And so you look at one, and do you know what you're going to do and the colors you're going to use, or it just comes to you?
Well, I'm a beach girl from Northern California, and every weekend we'd go from San Jose over the hill to Santa Cruz and body surf. I know the waves. And anybody who's been around the water, you know, I call those meetings of these things, it's a communication, it's a flow.
It's a flow.
If you see it come together, your mind can see it pulling apart. So these things feel really fluid. So I never reference anything.
Interesting. It
Yeah.
just flows.
It does, and I don't know why or how that really happens, but interestingly enough, that word flow is a psychological term for this is actually, a psychologist told me, this is called flow. You know, it's kind of like that inspirational thing,
Right,
that
right,
aha
right.
moment.
Yeah,
you
you
know,
reach that
these
peak
things.
mental state.
Right.
They
Yeah.
call that flow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's appropriate.
Oh, that's great. Well, we're excited. Let's get around and take a look at some of your pieces, and you can actually give us some insight as to how you actually create your work.
Yeah,
That
sounds great.
Let's do this.
Explain to us a little about how you start with a raw board, and we see kind of the phase of development here.
Yeah, okay, so you could see this is a, somebody must have painted this, but you know, this has got a lot of dings that have been filled on it. The front, so basically this is what the base looks like. I just sand it down to this, removing the fin, and then what I do is I paint the primer and then put my first base
look at
coat
that,
on.
yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of these have had patches below, you can't even see them now, but patch and sand, and so then they look halfway decent. So I start with a color a rich color usually. So then what I do is once I have, and that's just wall paint actually.
Okay. That's
'Cause I
your primer base.
Yeah, my primer, and then I put a color base.
Okay.
So after I do that, I use my water-based colors, and a lot of those have micas in them and different things, so I could actually create the colors I want.
So this one started with a dark blue. And then what's the next color?
In this case, it was probably the earth tone,
Okay.
or the brass, you know, the brown or brown area.
And then
Yeah.
the lighter, there are a couple of,
Well, then I probably would resin because I don't want them to get muddy.
Okay.
So between a lot of my layers, this has it has a top layer of resin, but it probably has 2 other resin layers because I want to set it.
So you're building layers of color on top of resin
Yes.
to protect the integrity of that original
the base.
design.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so that's how this all comes together, and then that creates depth.
Right.
And that depth can be, you know, and then you could add a wave above it. You know, you could add a wave
See,
like
that's
this.
neat to have that.
Of this in the movement with it's kind of a soft and blurry almost, like it's got some action.
Yeah. It's gorgeous.
That's how that works.
Carolyn, this has been fantastic. We had so much fun. Very interesting to see the movement, what you do and how you do things. Most importantly, what I like about it is the cause, where you started the whole thing. So thank you so much for bringing us here. We so appreciate it.
Oh, I couldn't thank you guys more. Not only are we making you an artist today, which is awesome, but your husband's now seeing all your talent. So that's what's important. We all share, right?
Sounds
Share
great.
the beauty.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been amazing.
Thanks. Appreciate it.